Yo, what's going, buddy? It's your boy, Texas, and we're back with the MUTMEN podcast. I got Gutfoxx in, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Just enjoying life right now. It's kind of hot out here this time. Last time I told you it was cold. Now it's hot, and I don't know what I want anymore in my life.
Not Colorado? You don't want Colorado anymore?
I do want that, but but I don't want it right now, though. Like, this weather is actually kind of beautiful. It's kind of nice out. Go outside, walk around, no shoes on. Right now, it's snowing in Colorado, I heard, so that's going to be kind of a difficult thing to adjust to.
Yeah. I bet it would, but then why move then, dude?
Oh, friends, easily. Like, it's much more convenient out there than it is out here in Texas, where everybody's out here moving, leaving me by myself. It's kind of depressing. But anyway, we got somebody who is also in a warm weather state. Got my man Erocks, first time on the podcast, man. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm great. Like you said, it's beautiful in Southern California right now. Look, about 70 degrees and sunny.
It's nice. Well, we appreciate you being
weather report.
Yes. We appreciate you being on at 5 p.m. over there. You know, you got responsibilities, and I'm glad you can make it because we tried to get you on for the past couple of weeks, but you just had a baby, so you've been busy around the house. So appreciate you making time for us and the subscribers.
I appreciate you guys even thinking to ask me to join.
Awesome. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, some really interesting stuff that we're going to be diving into. So I'm really looking forward to this episode in particular. Like in all the videos, I'm going to keep saying this. If you guys missed last week's episodes over on Gutfoxx's channel, link will be in the description, as well as a link to iTunes. So if you guys want to catch it whenever you're not on YouTube, there's a place for you. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this episode. Fox.
Yeah, so I first want to talk about E's MUT History. He's what we'd like to call OG. He knows a lot about the history of this game. Can you talk to us a little bit about it, E?
Yeah. Back in 2010, it wasn't until I believe end of December, early January, where MUT actually came out as DLC. It wasn't even part of the game. So originally, when it came out, I downloaded it just because anytime something came out, an update for a game, you download it. But I never really touched it. Kind of thought it was going to be a hit and miss, I didn't really get the concept at first, and then 11 started playing it more, and then 12 got fully addicted, and then then you're just, once you're in it, it's hard to get out because it's a very addicting for pretty much anything. If you play, it's great because you get to build this ultimate fantasy team, or if you don't play, it's fun to complete the sets and be a collector. So it has something to keep you addicted at every sense.
So what do you think's the worst thing to happen to MUT since those first couple years that we're dealing with at 17?
The worst thing? Wow. I mean,
sorry.
Easy thing would be to say pack odds.
Okay.
But I think the worst thing is the ability that we've had to farm everything. I mean, I think there's a cause and effect to everything. So because pack odds got worse, people began to farm, which made set rewards get, nerfed, and, we went from positional heroes in Madden 11 or in 12 and 13, giving you 1 million coins, packs, and cards to right now. I don't even think there's a coin bonus because I haven't even completed any positionals. So I think that's the worst thing. It's a cause of a bunch of little things that all snowball into the whole game being affected.
So like death by 1,000 cuts, more than one thing.
Pretty much.
Okay. So on the flip side, what have you liked the best that's changed since you've been a part of this mode?
I mean, the best thing is look at the sets. Look at how hard it was, moving cards from pending to collection, then into the collection. I mean, I remember getting on 13, it taking 3-4 hours to complete the wide receiver collection because there was 100 cards. I mean, we take for granted now that we're completing them in, I'm completing sets in seconds compared to hours. So they've made it a lot more user friendly. So the UI in general.
That's very cool. Texas, any questions?
No, back in Madden 13, I can just talk about that as well because that's one game I got into it with. Like he said, basically it's like cause and effect of all these little things that make everything in the grand scheme worse. So the not getting coin rewards on doing sets, so people go on multiple accounts to do the set so they can sell the card for more profit. It's just stuff like that people keep doing. I guess if they had those things over here in this game, it wouldn't be that bad. But that also affects, I guess, the market. So I guess back then the market really wasn't as crazy as it is now.
Yeah, and also the amount of people playing. I think that's another thing that, it's grown in leaps and bounds. I mean, look at back in MUT 13, I think, someone having 10K subscribers to a MUT channel or, 5K on a Twitter handle is crazy. I mean, and you look at Toke now, I mean, he'll be at 1 million before, we know it. So MUT especially has grown in leap and bounds.
Yeah, MUT and YouTube. Do you think YouTube helped grow MUT? Because it does seem like all the big YouTubers.
I don't know if it helped it, but it definitely didn't hurt it. I mean, it's hard to tell.
So we had a little agenda. We'll just go topic by topic. I don't have to run through it yet. But Peter Moore left EA to go head up FC Liverpool. And we don't really know, because Madden's and EA's big focus for Madden 17 and FIFA and whatnot has been competitive play, because Peter Moore is quite a big name in the gaming industry. Now, do you guys think, Texas, let's hear from you first, do you think Peter Moore's leaving EA has an effect on competitive Madden going forward?
I wouldn't think so, just based off how many sponsors they probably already have lined up. So I think that's pretty much going to be set and secure. So I think the competitive scene is just going to keep blossoming every single year, especially with more and more people joining and watching on ESPN and watching on NFL Network. So I think him leaving is not really going to affect that aspect of the game.
Okay, E?
I gotta agree. At first, when I heard, Texas told me via text that he was leaving, I was like, wait a minute. I've always heard CEOs in the industry, in the corporate industry, tell me, once you start seeing head level guys leave, that's signs of a sinking ship. But then once I heard that it was for a dream job for him, to basically, I mean, isn't that the ultimate MUT or FIFA job, is run your own squad, especially if it's your favorite team.
Yep.
So once I heard why he was leaving, I put my mind at ease that it had nothing to do with competitive or a sinking ship. It's just more of, holy crap, this dream job of mine came, and how can I turn it down? So I think as far as competitive, I think because of, like Texas said, the sponsors already being there and how well it did, I think it's going to be here to stay, and it's going to be a huge, part of MUT for the next few years.
You guys talked about sponsors and whatnot, and were there a lot of sponsors putting money into this? Because people are, competitive players are getting sponsored by competitive gaming teams now, but whereas all the money put up was EA money, right? Or who kicked in for those? Sorry, I don't know off the top of my head. Who kicked in for those $10,000 rewards for the club series? Do you guys know?
Well, I think the teams and the NFL are part of it because, EA has the rights with the NFL and the NFL with the Xbox. So I think that's why I saw the Xbox was a main sponsor. And also, look at some of the sets we had. We had those Big Mac sets for McDonald's, and I'm sure EA ain't cutting the checks for free. Gatorade has solo challenges. So,
But yeah,
I think...
Oh, go on, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, we've had a lot of that over the course of MUT, though, with a lot of different sets being sponsored. Like Gatorade was a year ago we saw those, or no, was that 16 or do we see those? What's that?
Yes, I think it started at 15.
15 it was? Okay, yeah.
Such with the terrible elites that go into it for no reward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we saw Marshawn Doritos. They got sponsored for EA, so it's a few different things, with sponsorships. But for competitive wise, like losing Peter Moore and basically the leader, I can't see it. It felt like, I don't know, there were some bumps this year with competitive Madden, and hopefully it's something they can sort out in the future. But it did feel like a lot like square peg round hole at times with the competitive scene, and as we saw today, it was a lot of friction with the competitive players and stuff. And I don't know, what do you guys, before we get into that, do you guys think competitive Madden in 17, I want to hear from you first, do you think it was a success this year?
I think it was a major success for them. I mean, they're definitely in their infant stages, and it definitely has a lot of room to grow. I mean, I watched the FIFA Ultimate Team championship, and it was leaps and bounds above the MUT one. But looking from the original MUT Invitational, it has grown by leaps and bounds. And it when the game's played right, and you're watching two really good players play, like when I watch Serious Mo, it gets me excited to play. I mean, I look at what they do, and it helps me out as a player to see what they're doing. Yeah, it might be cheese, but they're constantly the top guys for a reason, year in and year out. So I enjoy watching it.
Okay, so you did like competitive Madden. How about you, Tex? Do you think it was a success this year?
I think it was a success. Now I hope it keeps translating, because it helps everybody out at the end of the day, as opposed to it failing, because that's not good for us as content creators if something that EA doesn't profit, I guess. But I'm still not watching these things. Like, I'll watch the championship, but like, you're still not drawing me in with these guys that not that I never heard of them, just guys I just don't care about. Like, you're not getting me invested into rooting for somebody, really. You're just basically the same dudes over and over again. They have the same commentating lines. Nobody goes into like a personal backstory. Like, I watch The Challenge every single Tuesday, and I like that show. I've been invested into it over years, but they give you backstories about why a person wants to win, and this stuff doesn't really give you anything other than that one time that guy just had a kid. So,
okay. What's The Challenge?
So the show Real World and Road Rules, they have their own shows on MTV, and they combine into the challenge. And these players compete for money to improve their lives. And there's a backstory there to get to know the players, and now you know who you're rooting for, who you're not rooting for, who you hate, who you love. And with this, there's just nothing there to get me interested. I think the Madden Buzz did a better job of getting you interested in rooting for certain players, where this one is just watching top guys play, which can be entertaining, but also can be boring.
Yeah, I actually think EA did a decent job, or about as well as they can, to promote these competitive players, because they got a name now in the community based on EA's promotion, whereas like they didn't do too much streaming beforehand. Like, I don't know if Serious Mo streamed before he won his championship, but since then he's done some good streaming. He's got some good numbers there. Same with Dubby. And Problem was one of the first Madden streamers that was one of the top ones. But I do feel like EA did a good job. Now it's not all on EA to promote them. Just like in any scene, I think the guys need to go out and promote themselves too. What do you guys think? Anything?
Well, some of them don't. I mean, some of these guys just don't have the personality to be promoted. I mean, some of them are just really quiet, guys who, that's why they don't have a YouTube or something. They don't have that over-the-top personality. So that, that could be one of the reasons why it looks hard to, get excited to or feel connected to those guys.
Yeah. Texas, any thought?
I think I want to say they don't have no personality. I guess they just don't want to be put out there like that. I don't know, because I think a lot of people, because it's not, I want to say it's not hard to do a YouTube. Like, you can do not hard to be on YouTube. You just got to find out what you're good at and try to maximize that. So people will love to watch competitive suggestions and tips, but I don't think it's just as simple as these guys having personality. I think it's more so these guys just don't want to put in the work. They much rather just play the game than have to worry about uploading at a certain time or editing this and editing that. And it's much more easier just not to do that.
Yeah, I think Texas is correct with that YouTube, it does take a lot of time, and I think that's something that, it takes time away from gaming, is actually editing the videos, and that could, maybe make them less of a competitive player if they have to spend time, editing for YouTube. So you're right. It is a grind to put YouTube videos on for competitive players, but I don't know. Maybe they'd have to pay an editor, and that's quite a bit. I don't know. So, talking about competitive, there was a little bit of a spat today. Seems to be a split community. What do you guys think about competitive players versus YouTubers and other entertainers on Twitch? Texas, can I get your thoughts first?
Well, before we get into that, can you let the audience know exactly how this came about?
Yeah, sure. So, Sly, that dude Sly, as many people know, a former host of this podcast, put out a video saying he thought he played Young Kiv and he lost to him. But Young Kiv tweeted out that wasn't me. and had a little giggle. So Sly changed the title of his video to somebody I thought who was Young Kiv, and then competitive Madden players, it was VTech came at Sly, and I had to look up the actual tweet here. Basically said that he's using the competitive scene for clickbait for his video, and I don't know. Do you have the actual tweets?
I don't have the tweets in front of me because I saw what Dub.Racist said, but I didn't see where I didn't know where the whole thing originated, and I just saw people arguing with competitive stuff. So I thought the audience may not know either, so they might want to know exactly what triggered this split in the community between the competitive players and the regular Madden content creators, I guess you'll say.
Yeah. It really it's not so much like regular content creators. Like, it's mainly, I think Sly got most of the arguments,
most of the heat.
Yeah, because I know a lot of Problem ended up tweeting a long paragraph on it about how YouTubers and streamers and competitive and regular ones need to work together to grow together. But it does seem like there's still some, I don't know, friction between like Gaming Powerhouse and
Serious Mo.
Yeah, Serious Mo went at it too. So do you feel there's a serious, like, okay, I guess one part of it is, I think just as content creators, we see there's like one pie, and we each have our own slice of that pie. And some people are saying, hey, let's grow the pie together, while others are saying there's only so many people that are going to watch, so I hate these other people for taking some of my pie. What do you think of that, Texas?
That is true. Some people don't like growing together but some people do at the same time. They like growing their own individual like clique. So I guess I can see both sides of it. But we're all drinking from the same straw. I mean, my man Erocks and I, we both listen to Lebitard Show, and he always says that all the media members are drinking from the same straw. It's your job to do it better than the other one, be better than the top 10%, and don't fall in the bottom 10%. And so I do agree with that, but at the same damn time, we all have to get along. Otherwise, it's just going to be constantly fighting. So I feel like using that defeatist attitude is kind of not the way to go about these things.
E, what do you think?
Doesn't the fact that competition, doesn't that just make better quality? I mean, we always get on EA about if we had 2K football, EA would have to get better. So my whole thing is, when we have more content creators, you have to get better. You know, back in MUT 13, you just throw out a pack opening video and say a few things on the cards you're pulling. It forces progression. You need that. You need new guys to come along.
But I don't think
you need that forward. You need that push forward. So the competitive guys, if you're worried about the competitive guys taking your views or your Twitch or YouTube live streams, then it's going to force you to do something different. It's going to force something better. So I never think it's a bad thing when there's competition.
Which I agree with, but I don't think that's the whole. I don't think that's the argument. I think the argument here is the Madden competitive players think that they're better than the content creators. I think that's the whole
dick showing
argument
contest
here.
at the end of the day.
Yeah,
This is a dick showing contest. My dick's bigger than yours. And
because
that's
we can have a good conversation about the competition though, because I evolved as a Madden commentator, as a Madden editor. Vic has evolved leaps and bounds better than I am, and then you just get more competition there. So we can have a topic about that. But with this in particular, where the Madden competitive players think that us YouTubers are using them to get views, when that just seems kind of weird.
I have a love and hate relationship with YouTubers. I love some of you guys because you guys put out great content, and other ones who are just the scum who put, how to get free elite cards on Wednesday when EA throws that free elite and they use it as clickbait. I can't tell you how many times I see some in my time like that. And, it's a scum that ruins, I think, when I say YouTubers, you got the big guys and then you got the other guys, and it's more just those mid-tier guys who are making those scum clickbait videos, and it falls on the rest of you guys. Because I've never watched one of your videos and thought, oh, I'm gonna get got. Like I don't see those pulled 10 elites in one pack. And
yeah, well, E, you're talking about Texas, not me. Yeah, I'll get you.
but the thing is, you know, some of them are blatantly obvious, and I understand some of them can be clickbait as a joke, but it seems like, I don't know, more and more this year especially, I've seen it where it's, you know, lies to get views, and that, you know, then I have a problem.
I mean, that's exactly what you see with, like you said, competition. It breeds ruthlessness, and the clickbait, it brings in people to your channel at the cost of credibility for everyone. Like, so in October, when people were claiming they had a 99 overall blank, like team or defense or something, or they would do that, that worked really well for them. It made all of us like get less trusted as a group because people would put that clickbait. But it's kind of like, what I don't know how to explain it well. Like, the benefit of the one hurts the flock almost, but it is a very ruthless business. And like you say, I've seen some people go pretty darn big with that clickbait. It's the same thing in other YouTubers. Like, I know the FIFA community struggles with it, and just every single YouTuber. There's a very big incentive to clickbait and do these titles that don't relate to the video.
It's like the title in the next 3 months will be Madden 18, playing 18-year-old Madden 18, and something like that. And you know, that's one of the things where you're like, really.
But the thing is that video for Cullenberger got over 1 million views.
Oh no, I know, but it's funny because then it spawns all these other ones.
Yeah, and then you saw Cookie Boy do it too and get a ton of views on it too. So the thing is, like, that kind of clickbait works for those people, but it harms the community. So I don't know. It's like you said, the competition is more fierce, making everybody more ruthless. It's a good thing in one sense, but a bad thing in another sense.
Yeah, but you definitely see the people who it pushes. You see them improve their ideas. You know, different kinds of videos. You know, look at Vic with the replacement series. Like, that, how many people do you see doing that now? And it's so much more entertaining than watching someone play with this 99 B squad.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. A Road to Glory. We've seen those are very entertaining for a lot of people.
Or Toke's Pack Wars. Look at those.
Yeah, like I think you're right with the variety of videos has definitely changed and have broadened since Madden 13. It's a lot tougher to break out now than it was 4 years ago or more. But like, so I think it all actually started, now that I'm looking back in timelines, Dubby did say on the 27th, so last night, real Madden players took over the MUT scene. Main streamers went AWOL. They missed the days when they looked like the best players. So that kind of kicked it off now that I'm looking back on the timeline. He said, I'm Team Siwoo, best streamer right now and competes with the best in the world. Can't knock that. Anyways, it's the real Madden players took over that. Like, he's talking now, the competitive Madden players are replacing the entertainers, the YouTubers as the top streamers.
Stupidest thing I have ever heard in my life. Oh my, that is like, huh? Did you not see how many YouTubers post Madden? Like, that is the most stupidest comment I've ever heard somebody speak into my ears. Like, the only people that left that were competitive Madden players, or that were like top Madden players on YouTube that don't post anymore, I think it's just Addy cards. Like, Kareem will be back soon. I think Addy
was the last.
So like it's like everybody else that was doing YouTube back when I was doing YouTube in 2014, 2013, like, they're still here.
Yeah, I think he's specifically talking about how like, there are certain streamers, like Wheels has moved on to doing different games now, because I actually saw Wheels replied.
So he's talking about
right now.
So right now, so
because W's getting, I don't know, 300 people in his streams.
Because Madden's boring right now, so he's using that to attribute the fact that he's killing the scene because nobody's playing Madden because they ain't doing shit that make you want to play Madden. That's stupid.
But how are we excited for 300 viewers in a stream? Like, that's nothing. Like, we need to look past 300 viewers. Like, that should not still be, you know, this glorious number. 300? I mean, look at all other games. 300 is nothing. So to be whipping out your dick for 300 viewers, that's to me, that's just very sad.
Yeah.
Like, if that's the numbers that, you know, we're arguing about. Because, you know, look at when others stream, there's a lot more people on YouTube streaming who are pulling a lot bigger numbers than that.
Yeah, like,
but in the sense of he's exposing players who might have it goes back to the whole thing of YouTubers only show wins.
Yep.
So I think maybe that's more what he's trying to say. Like they're getting exposed as they're not gameplay guys.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
But like, how many YouTubers are strictly gameplay guys now? Most of the people I follow, I don't know, 30 to 50 YouTubers. I don't remember the exact number. It's quite a bit, and most of them are posting like other types of videos, like gameplay-ish. But like, I'd say half are gameplay, half are around the game type stuff, like packs and talking about recently released content and stuff like that, or doing. I guess maybe I'm overstating that. I guess there is a lot of gameplay.
It's more of a
posted.
built-in perception that because when you see a lot of YouTubers' videos, they only show wins. It's just in a built-in perception that they're good at the game.
That's
so
true.
You get this false sense of, holy crap, this Vic's amazing because I've never seen him lose, or Texas has never lost in a video. He must be really good. I think it's more the perception that's built up instead of the actual reality that most of them are, average to above average players at the best.
Yeah. I get you.
I think those competitive players are kind of average to above average at best. They just have things that we don't have, which is ebooks. So kind of makes them just to that great status. Out here on HGH and steroids, talking about they good, dog. They cheating.
Yeah. Well, they're usually the
only
ones.
Improves what's already there, though. It doesn't make you better. It lets you hit the ball in after 25 feet.
Doesn't help the hand-eye coordination.
Which we all have.
You have to be
Madden,
somewhat skilled in order.
Yeah, which
to,
is
for it to work.
they're average players that took HGH to become super players.
Yeah,
that's my.
If it was that easy, everyone would do it.
I think it might be that easy, man. I think it might be that easy. Just, I don't
then
think
I should see you at the Madden Championship next year.
Yo, me and Vic might actually try to invade that. Like, we've been talking about this in Skype. Like, Vic is really good at the game. I'm okay, but maybe if I start using that nickel blitz or start using some of those offensive plays where I make 70,000 adjustments to throw the ball 4 yards down the field, like, we can make this happen.
Yeah, the thing is, Texas, it's the grind to get there. Like, it's hundreds of hours, hundreds of games to even get qualified. Which is where the difference comes in. Like, you put a lot of time into YouTube and stuff, which they don't have to because they're grinding the ladder. They don't do the YouTube thing.
I could stream all these games.
You could stream them. That's true.
Put the videos together. Any way you look at it, your full attention wouldn't be on one or the other.
Yeah, so it'll be tough, but like, I don't know. To be fair to these competitive guys, they are the ones putting together the ebooks a lot of the times. Like, Problem puts out his Problem playbook or whatever. So, anyways, let's move on. We talked a little bit beforehand about the Equalizer. I got a question for you. Do you believe in the Equalizer, and if so, why?
It's hard not to believe in it. I want to say no, they wouldn't ever put anything in there like it. But I've played too many games where I have a super team and I'm getting mossed by an 85 overall, Doug Baldwin. And I'm like, what's going on? And, it comes back to, I don't know if it's an equalizer or if it's a flip of the coin that I'm just not good at guessing the right answer on. But it feels like there's something that is in the background that keeps teams competitive. And if you do look at regular head-to-head or regular, team play, there is an option that says equalizer on or off. And from past Maddens, we know that if you go into the settings and you used to be able to adjust the field goal settings so you can kick like 80-yard field goals. I think it was your video. I remember seeing on your video, Texas. So my history of understanding that there are connections from those settings into MUT, it just leaves the question, I don't think I've ever seen a dev exactly say, no, there isn't. So
I have.
It's just, oh, you have? Okay.
Yep.
I just feel like it's there, and maybe it's just me making excuses for a bad read I had, or maybe I didn't play the right coverage, but it just feels like there's something there.
I got you. In Texas, what are your thoughts?
I agree with him. I feel like the equalizer is there. Weren't you saying a couple of weeks ago though that like remember they had something in the game that they didn't know they had in the game? Like they had something in the coding they didn't realize that was in the coding. So that can also be the same thing with the equalizer. It's not in the game, but they may not know that it's there. Because I played a guy last night. This is probably a terrible example. This happens constantly where he has a gold defensive end. I got 2 elite right guard, right tackles, and he just splits double team. Like that shouldn't happen. Like that shouldn't happen. I got 2 dudes blocking 1 dude. So this dude's Dan Williams, who has 99 block shed, is just stuck on my center. His other guy is stuck on Tyron Smith, and then the guy that's getting double team on a 3-man pass rush just splits the double team. I have no time in the pocket. It's like, so why does that happen? Like, why is this gold card outperforming 299 overall players?
Well, it depends. Is that goal you said right end? Is it Vernon? Because that gold card.
It was Autry. He had an all Raiders team, so it was a gold Autry from the playoffs.
Oh yeah, I think this game.
Look at his card right now. Let's go look at his
card. No, it's okay. This game does. It feels like it's easier to beat a double team sometimes than a 1-on-1 almost with the power move type of stuff. But onto the equalizer. So I have a pretty good squad myself, and if I'm ever matched up against a guy with like low 90s, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a fun game because they just can't compete. Like I may have felt the equalizer like in the past, but I just don't think I was on top of my game that game. Usually I just eat those guys alive. And I'm not saying nobody can beat me or whatever, but generally the games against lower overall squads are much easier than the one against God squads.
That's interesting because when I go against low overall squads, I run into more so me not catching picks, me dropping all like passes across the middle. Fumbles happen constantly. Whereas I go against a higher powered person, like my team just seems to play like they're supposed to play. But so this Autry, by the way,
I have the opposite view as you. If I see 399s on that opening, I'm like, okay, here we go. I'd much rather see 399s or a 99 and 298s than see 92, 91, 90 or something like that. I'd much rather see that 99s across the board.
That's crazy.
All right, so the Nico Autry, by the way, 74 speed, 85 block shed, 87 power move. Why these splitting double teams?
I don't know. That's just it's just poorly coded offensive line play. But like that's so weird because when I play against those guys, I'm like, all right, this game's ending before the first quarter or the first half. Like, yeah, maybe I drop a pick or two, but my guys are running 5 yards away from his guys. Like in Night Train lanes causing fumbles, and he's not able to get any like catches, and my hit sticks are landing, and like he's not able to hang on to the ball either. So it's weird that you guys have that experience with it, whereas I'm just like, oh, this one's gonna end soon. I hope he doesn't quit really early. I want to get some good footage in. But let's move on. So you got two people believe in the equalizer, and then so it's 2-1 here.
Yeah, post down in the comment section below if you guys believe in equalizer. Also post. I had a thought that I was going to say post down there as well about some things, but I forgot because it just left my mind that fast. So if I remember it, I'll say it later on.
Yeah, go ahead and chime in. All right, so moving on, Ultimate Master and Combine Warrior. We're getting those promos right here pretty soon.
I mean, the back of the Combine collectible we got for collecting the 20 gold cards, it says early March, and tomorrow is the 1st of March. The Combine starts on Friday, so with the way they like to drop promos on Friday, I'm fully expecting to log on Friday morning and see a drop of some kind of Combine thing. And this is just my non-insider information, just me throwing something off the wall and hoping it sticks, is I see Ultimate Master coming the week after, and I see them doing something for the Combine Warriors where you have to complete a certain Combine set to get a Combine Master collectible to go into the Ultimate Master set. Because just right now there's not a lot of things left to do for Ultimate Master. You could see Team Chems, which if you guys haven't, get on that. Just get them. They're cheap right now. Don't wait until it drops. I can see them doing something like Team Chems, like have Seattle's defense with, another offensive team, like the Atlanta offense and Seattle defense or something like that. So I think we're definitely going to get something soon because everything points to the weeks. Because I don't know if you guys saw, but there is a tweet that Mike sent out, who's MUT Guru, and it said something about AB coming, and then it was quickly deleted. I didn't even see it, but I had a few people who reached out to me and had saw him who have him on notification and said they saw it and it was deleted instantly. So I'm just saying I'm looking at probably there being an AB Ultimate Master, but I could be wrong. Just trying to put on my MUT Sherlock Holmes on and try to fit some pieces of the puzzle together.
Yeah, well, it makes sense because if he did about the new AP or AB, he didn't have a great combine, so it wouldn't be a combine card, right?
Yeah, and I thought it was going to be a positional collection because the tweet came out before positional collections dropped, and we all know it was Amari Cooper and Diggs who got the wide receivers. So
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, that'd be kind of cool. AB's, obviously he's not amazing in MUT, but an Ultimate Master would be kind of pretty sweet for AB because he's one of my favorite players.
Him up with some chems.
Oh yeah,
that Pittsburgh King is +1 speed too, so that'll be. He's still like 92 speed probably, but that +1 speed might come in clutch though.
Yeah, well, he'd be a 99 overall. Like, what would be the? How many 99 overalls have we had so far? Half dozen.
Are you
5?
counting kickers and punters?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Yo,
so real quick. This is why I don't think they got an algorithm. We're gonna go back to real quick. How is a 93 kick by a kicker not an overall? So I think this is shit just put on the damn card.
Oh yeah.
Like it can't be an algorithm if he's 93 kick back, you just slap them with not that overall. That doesn't make any sense because Justin Tucker is 93. And accuracy is like 2 or 3 points worse. He's like a 96.
Well, look at the limited Terrell Pryor. There's no real stats that are crazy to make it look like a 95, but he also has 92 throw power, and that's something that doesn't pop up on a wide receiver card, but it can affect the overall of a card. And I did some research. You can actually get him in the Cleveland playbook to be the Wildcat quarterback. So little things like that. You have to look at the bumps and other things like throw power, block shit. Even though it might not help that particular player, these bumps in these stats do boost up overalls.
Well, the thing is with the logarithm, I don't think throw power is taken into the. Madden did their. I know MUT's rated a little bit different than Madden's overall rating, so I can't really speak specifically to MUT. But Madden's given to 538. They gave away their a logarithm or their rating system.
Oh, that one guy that does that website. Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you. That's pretty cool. It said 538, right? So that's the website, right?
Yeah. 538 had it. I think it was last year where they gave away what percentage of what stat goes into the overall, and I don't think throw power is on the wide receiver. Well, I know it wasn't, but on the Pryor, like what's crazy about the Pryor, 92 speed is like top speed for a wide receiver, but he's still worse than Vic there. Like you'd think like having Wildcat, he's just like he'd be like an average speed guy, Aren't we getting a lot of other fast quarterbacks that can be just as well as him?
But it's more the deception of that play because if you see Wildcat, most of the time you don't realize there is a few playbooks that have a passing play out of it. So a lot of time when you see people run it, just for an example, I ran it 3 times. All 3 guys ran committed against me, and I lobbed it over the top for a touchdown.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. So it's more the deception of when people see the Wildcat, they assume run.
Perfect. Yep, that's my entire playbook, man. I've been running Wildcats since Madden last year. Got the run and gun playbook, dog. You come out there, you run a couple sweet plays, a couple counters. They run a commit. You put your quarterback in at the running back spot and throw it over the top of the field. It's a touchdown.
Texas, when we played earlier this year, you didn't run Wildcat against me.
I had to play. It was because alternate playbooks were out at the time. You can run it back though if you want, man. You can run it back. But yeah, so back to not on overalls. We only have 6 in the game, but we have 4 that are actually people you want to use on your team.
Yeah. Kickers and punters. I get you. Nitschke, McNair.
I think we just need to get away from overalls. They don't really matter. I look at particular stats that I want for each position. Mm-hmm. I've learned that you kind of got to back away from the overalls and just look at certain positional stats you want. For your ends, you want block shed, you want that kind of stuff. So I can care less if it's a 95 overall if it has 98 block shed.
Well, E, you're an intelligent MUT player. I've gotten, and I know Texas has too, based on his chemistry builders. So many more people care about that little number in the upper right corner than anything else this year, especially when it goes blue and it gets increased by an overall. People are so hyped. Like they ask, like, "Hey, what's his overall go up to with this chemistry is active?" That's huge on Twitter, on the subreddit, everything. They love seeing that stuff. So I'd love to say overalls don't matter, like Texas did in 16, but Texas, we talked about this before, and I gave you crap for it about how much you care about overalls now.
They look pretty, but as far as the overall,
it does look
it's pretty.
I'm a sucker. I'm not gonna lie.
Didn't we just say you're in the you're in the YouTube business. You're in the business of pretty.
Yeah, so. That's why I don't show my face.
I probably did get duped. I probably did get duped though, like, because I don't believe in like the chemistry stuff. What works in game, like I can't really test any of that stuff. But it just looks nice though. Like it looks like something that you should do.
Well, you can test it with the special chemistries.
Yeah, with the abilities you can actually see, but like the other stuff I can't tell though. Because like I got good run block on the offensive line, but dudes still don't be blocking anybody. I got 99 blocks on the defensive line, and when dudes run the ball against me, they still can run a counter play and get 80 yards down the field. So it's like it's kind of hard to test some stuff like that. But but it just looks nice though. Like the blue, the linking of everything, it just feels so satisfying. You get your whole team built out that way. It gets my mind stimulated. That's why I play with it. That's why I make these lineups and do these teams. Like it keeps my mind going, as opposed to like right now where. If I wasn't building lineups right now, I probably wouldn't be playing Madden right now. I'd probably be doing what Wills is doing, playing H1Z1 or some shit.
Yeah. I've definitely noticed myself, my eyes wandering to these new games here coming up in the next month too.
Yes, with Wildlands, baby. Are you playing that?
Yeah,
Recon?
Andromeda coming. Wait, what's that?
Oh, you got Mass Effect. I was talking about the third-person shooter, Wildlands for Tom Clancy's.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
It's pretty dope. The beta was out actually recently. You played that yet, E?
No, I haven't even seen it. Okay. To be honest,
it's basically
the new Ghost Recon.
Yeah, it's basically the Division, except for it's Ghost Recon, because it's third-person shooter. You can play it 4 people. You can knock out objectives. You're like in Mexico, dog, killing like cartel members. It's pretty dope.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Is it a multiplayer game?
Yeah, 4-player multiplayer.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it comes out March 7th, so I'm gonna be picking that game up. And then you said Mass Effect. And that's going to be a huge game, despite the fact that it's not really linking up with the old ones. So that's going to bring a new audience into this, because I know some people don't want to play the new ones because you had to play the old ones to get familiar with the characters.
Yep.
Well, and you also see a lot of MUT players leaving to get ready for MLB The Show.
Yep.
Oh,
baseball season.
That's
I might actually buy a PS4 to play the MLB The Show.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking the same thing, Texas. So. Yeah. Moving over, because I haven't played baseball in a while. I haven't played a game for that, so who knows. But anyways, let's get back to MUT discussion. Terrell Owens, he kind of went off on EA because they took a shot at him on Twitter about him dropping. They said they'd lob him they'd give him a copy of Madden 17, but he'd probably drop it. So he didn't take too kindly to that, and hit back at them and was retweeting a lot of people hitting on EA's, and then EA ended up apologizing for it. Basically, what was revealed to us was Owens saying how EA only offered him $1,500. Now that seems ridiculously low. E, can I get your thoughts on the situation, on TO situation?
Yeah, I kind of think that might have been maybe a stretching of the truth, because I've heard the opposite. I've heard there's some players, like I've heard Favre asked for a ton of money, so maybe Owens, maybe that was an offer earlier from an earlier MUT where it wasn't as profitable. Maybe they hit him up in MUT 13 and that was an offer for 25 or something. It's hard for me to believe that was an offer they would send to someone like that, especially nowadays when it's very obvious how much they're making. You look at EA release the quarter numbers every quarter, and these Ultimate Team numbers for both FIFA and MUT just keep growing and growing. So, any smart player, I think, would be looking for a bigger chunk of pie now than maybe in previous Maddens.
Like, do
EA
you think
is on that J.R. Smith program though? Like, you never know until you ask. Like, you want to get the pipe, and they just ask you $1,500 and just see what he will respond.
Very
back
true,
with.
and it never hurts to ask. I
Yeah,
mean,
so it could be possible they asked him for that. I think he's gonna go back and negotiate. But my guess is they asked his agent, and his agent told TO, and TO said fuck no. And then his agent got back to EA. EA just didn't get number back. I think if they would have negotiated, maybe the number would have went up. But just asking initially for $1,500 and seeing what he says is kind of a smart idea, I would think.
and I mean, T.O. looks like, obviously I don't know him, but he looks like the guy who loves the attention. So I mean, you're doing you're working on your abs right in your front yard. Maybe he's the kind of player who doesn't care about the money. He's made a ton of money. Maybe EA thought that and like, hey, we can put him on the cover of a weekend promo. He can come to. I mean, he's been down to EA for their flag football event just this past year. So maybe they just say, hey, we have a good relationship with this guy. He likes to have fun. He likes what we're doing here. We get him in the studio, maybe do something special, have like kind of special TO celebration they add. And maybe they decide, hey, and then they realize, oh, we ain't that good of friends.
Mm-hmm. And already probably Googled
on that level.
They probably Googled his net worth and was like, he probably needed some money. Just throw him something at him because his net worth on Google is $0.
I mean, I've joked around with friends that I thought, when they were asking for legends they wanted, I thought, well, they might be able to get him for an extra value mill. So I mean, maybe EA just went in with that idea with, hey, let's throw $1,500 out. We'll make it we'll make it back in an hour, and we got TO. So
makes sense to me. Yeah.
I mean, and TO, his reach stretches to Eagles, Cowboy fans, 49er fans, and especially Cowboy and 49er fans. I mean, it's not this weird coincidence that we see a ton of Cowboys and 49ers and Steelers being dropped. It's because those fan bases they pay to play with those cards. So
yeah, that is very true. And about Owens' money situation, he did lose, according to the headlines, most of his $80 million that he earned. So he is pretty broke. So maybe he does actually need the money. Anyways, moving on, just like a PSI for people listening to this, Muthead, it's the service that they use got hacked, the Cloudflare or something, and you guys want to change your passwords there if you use Muthead, and wherever you use your password.
Pro tip, I had no idea.
Yeah, and wherever you use that Muthead password anywhere else, because they don't actually know everything that maybe got leaked, so definitely change everything.
Is that from the extension to the Muthead that they use, or is that?
Let me look it up.
Yeah, because I hadn't even heard of that. That's crazy.
That's interesting.
Cloudflare, their security, the 4 critical security flaws resulted in a hack last Friday on Cloudflare.
Oh, wow.
So it's just like, I actually don't know a lot about how their servers and stuff work, but I'm guessing it's related to something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Position hero sets. Now, Texas, you said before the pod that position hero sets got changed based on our feedback. Can you illuminate the audience based on that?
All right, so last week when Positionals dropped, like a week and a half ago, because it's been probably 2 weeks ago when Positionals dropped, they required an exorbitant amount of elite badges, which they make no sense for what the card's value was. So the example we kept bringing up was they wanted you to collect 30 elite badges for Gerald McCoy and 32 for Sue, right? And so if you did the math, elite badge is about 23,000 coins. We'll just go 20,000 coins. I'm bad at math. So that's about 600,000 coins for Gerald McCoy, about 640,000 coins for Sue. And then those cards weren't going for that price after, because nobody was doing those sets, and people who did those sets, those cards weren't really good enough for you to pay that much for, end up selling those cards for 500,000 coins. So they're basically just spending elite badges on sets just to lose coins. And so this week, they went ahead and upgraded, they listened to our feedback and they changed what the amount of elite badges that go into the set. So I think the most elite badges that go into one of these sets is like 20. I think that's for the left tackle. No, Jordan Reed's 22. So I think that's the most amount of elite badges in the set right now is 22, as opposed to 30 last week.
Yeah, still an insane number though.
Yeah, but Jordan Reed's 99 overall wide receiver, so I mean that's worth 22.
That tight end is one of the best receivers in the game right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, they did a good job. The linemen don't require that much. 'Cause I was kind of worried because I was prepping for the Joe Thomas positional set. I bought all the left tackle cards except for the ones that are 76 through 84. I had the elites. I had the rare gold, and I was like, if they put 30 elite badges in this set, I'm gonna be pissed. And luckily, they only put 20. Now I made profit off of selling Joe Thomas, fortunately, but Joe Thomas is really the only lineman that goes for 20 elite badges. You got Josh Sitton with 16. Travis Frederick, one of the best centers in this game, has 12 elite badges. So they did a good job of basically hearing our cries and making these guys with their stats comparable to the elite badges that go into these sets. Great job, EA. Great job.
I didn't mind EA making the Sioux 32. Like, I know at first it was a shock, and after I sat back and thought about it, elite badges aren't hard to create, and the fact that having the elite badges in those sets, granted the Sioux might have been too many, the McCoy might have been too many, but what that did was that kept the price of golds and elite cards from skyrocketing. Because all of a sudden, you already know, hey, I need to put 600k in elite badges in these sets. The gold cards, that kind of held them in place, so you didn't see this ridiculous rise in gold and elites. So, like, you know, the first day, yeah, there was a jump just because it's brand new. But if you looked at it afterwards, all those cards you can get for under, if you were patient, you could pick them up for all like 1,500 or less.
Yeah,
so
which is cool. Good thing, though. Well, it's cool until you realize, like, I go to dadleaks.com to price out the set. It's cool when you realize that it's 600,000 coins to get Gerald McCoy's set done still, and then like the amount of gold cards you can collect in the set is like only going for 100,000. So it's like, come on, man, like this is not really worth my time at this point. So I'm cool with the elite badges being in the set and making it. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish.
I was like, I'm cool with the elite badges like being in the set to keep the cost of stuff down. It just needs to reflect how good the card is. If the card's a beast, make it as many elite badges as you need to. If the card's not, it's just a D tackle or like low block shit. Like it can't be that expensive.
I haven't used the Sioux yet. From everyone I've heard with the Sioux, he's a monster. I mean, I'm sure the Glover is probably just as good. Or I run the Jack Youngblood at second D tackle now, and he's amazing. But I mean,
and then last week with the elite badges going back up in price, so when they dropped the offensive ones, they went up to about 30k, which was pretty crazy. I was like, yo, they should go up in price. And so if you were doing the Sioux set that week, that's 900,000 coins for Sioux.
No, I don't know about you. I know you mentioned he was selling for 600k. I haven't seen one under $1 million on.
Well, I'm talking about the McCoy though. The McCoy.
Oh,
the Gerald McCoy. Mostly the Gerald McCoy. Like the Sioux's cool. I mean, 94 block shit, but just like 1.8 million coins with that card. Nah.
Yeah, it's bad, especially with Harrison coming out, season star, who's just insane with his boosts at 99 block shed. And then with the position heroes, I'm going to have to disagree on the elite badges being cool because, well, you say it kept the gold prices down, but if the gold prices go up, the set's going to cost the same, right? Because they just increase in price and they take the price of what the elite badges would have cost. So it's, in the end, for the people that are trying to put together, tomato.
Yes and no. Elite badges aren't as hard to corner. Like you can't just buy out. Maybe there's 574 overall D tackles. It's a lot easier to corner that market and all of a sudden have a card that is 200k than do it with elite badges.
Well, the thing with and then what EA does and what they did is just put out packs that give you those 72 to 75s, and they can make pack, like we always complain about packs not being worth it, but if they put out packs that may contain a 200,000 coin card that comes out pretty frequently, then packs are definitely worth it.
I've seen an improvement in packs just this week.
Yeah, and I much prefer the wild cards because it makes all cards more valuable. But yes, the packs have gone up because of these sets, but they could have gone up even more.
Yeah.
Like last week, I think this is last week. I think if they were going to do it this way, they should have just made it wild cards because it's doing the rare golds. There's no rare golds in it. Like everything, like there's no gold card in this game that it's not a free agent that goes for more than like 5k. Like everything, like I miss the days of Madden 15 where you pull that 74 overall. What's that dude's name? That was like going for like 1 million coins. Like I missed that. We didn't get that with this. What we got with this was
QB.
It was I think it was a linebacker. Or it was
Henry
Hanoski.
Oh, Foot. Foot.
Yeah.
Larry
Foot.
Foot. 50.
Oh, Larry
Foot.
Foot. Larry Foot.
I wanted that with this, and we didn't
Cardinal
get
great,
that.
Larry Foot.
Like we
Yeah.
didn't get that with this. What we got with this was, like I said, like last week, a glorified badge monster set that requires you to collect a bunch of gold cards. And I'm happy they changed it up this week as opposed to keeping it the same. Now it could have been like this already, but I think that we had an influence on them. I think that you guys had.
I agree. I think there was a huge influence from the change, but I like the fact that they dropped the elite badges, which made the sets more obtainable.
So wait.
But
Go on. Go ahead.
I didn't hate the fact that defensive players had, because there's only certain defensive players that had the absorbent amount, and I think the ones that had a lot of, I remember looking at those being like, okay, those are top tier cards at their position. So now that the offense came out, I do see the improvement, but I do like the elite badges being in there.
Okay.
You know what also is crazy about this before we move on? If you got something to say.
No, after you.
Basically, what this positional promo proved was what everybody's been saying for a while. Defensive players are much better than offensive players in this year's Madden, just based off of the ratings offensive players are getting and the ratings defensive players are getting. Like, they made the defensive positional ones super hard to get. Super hard to get. And in offensive,
and I think that's because defense is more important.
But offense is too, but offense is all, everybody's vanilla though. Like, the two receivers we got are both 92 speed. Then we get a Terrell Pryor this week who's going for like a fifth the cost of what's his face, and he's 92 speed as well. Like, so I just think that they can't do much on offense, whereas on defense they can. So that's kind of something that you can look into.
Offense, you can just stick any receiver in. It's all about the play calling on offense, the route combinations. It doesn't matter what receiver you stick in or running back you stick in, as long as you have those certain route combinations that get whatever open, and then it's just a matter of you throwing in the ball. Well, on defense, you need to be a lot more worried about stats pertaining to linemen, getting off blocks and stuff like that. So, of course, defense, in my opinion, is always going to be more important. So, hence the higher cost.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And like back to what Tex was saying with those cards just being the same. I don't love that. But one final question. Do you guys like that they put in specific golds for requirement Texas? Yes or no?
I would.
Or do you prefer?
I like specific golds if they don't put stuff to take the cost out of those golds. Like, I'm cool with a card being stupid rare, just because it rewards the guys that pull packs. So I'm all here for going into your binder after a month and not playing Madden because you got tired of it and you have a card that goes for 100,000 coins. Like, I'm here for that. That's dope because it rewards guys that have cards in their binder for a while. Like, I've been a proponent of this past couple of years. Like, yo, give me value to cards I pulled for back in like September, back in October, back in November. Stop putting out new cards that have more value than the cards I already have, and get those cards that already have value. Well, so I'm cool with the season. That's why I'm cool with the milestone sets. Like, they're adding value to cards over here in this game that don't have value or as much value as they possibly should. But when they did it with the positional ones, I'm like, they're gonna do specifics. Don't add elite badges. If you do add elite badges, add a few amount. Like, I'd much rather the cards be in the players as opposed to collectibles.
I gotcha. E.
Well, if you want to reward the players who've been playing since launch, then maybe instead of, just wild cards, maybe I believe it was last year they had wild card football outsiders, wild card team of the weeks. Then or specific wild cards for, or specific players for team of the week and football outsider. Then you can also issue the packs like they did all year, and then you can have a football outsider pack, team of the week pack.
Which I would have liked to see as well. But you know what they did? Instead, they didn't put those cards in the set, and they had a topper team of the week pack. Like, they're just trolling at this point.
Yeah, this was the first Madden where I really felt like there wasn't, for positionals, there wasn't a reward for playing all year. Because in my mind, when it comes to positionals, that's when, because right now we're in if you're still playing MUT, you're a MUT hardcore guy. Mm-hmm. Or girl, for the few girls out there.
Call me.
You should be rewarded if you get at Texas. But you should be rewarded for having played this long. So, I see people complaining about Team Hero badges not being easily obtainable, which is another thing that changed in the positional sets. I noticed that sets that only took, I think it was my buddy J-Roll pointed out that it's 5 or less or 4 or less badges. Those players that you do not come with those 2 Team Hero badges. I don't know if that was an oversight or if they're just not giving those. but it's only the ones that are 5 or more elite badges actually get those 2 hero sets that
So they're assigning
are still out there. I
tag.
mean, they're next to impossible to complete now if you haven't played. But I like that. Those sets, those Man of the Months, should be for those people who played all year. So
Same thing with MUT Master as well.
Exactly. Like, people were complaining that, I can't get MUT Master done because I would have to spend so much on hero badges. Well, then, you're not MUT Master if you really haven't been playing all year.
Yeah, I don't love that thinking, because I mean, a lot of kids get the game for Christmas, and there should be something to grind towards if you get the game
You can
late.
grind towards plenty of things without MUT Master.
Yeah, but it's the ultimate reward, especially going into next year. I mean,
is it the ultimate reward though?
What do you mean? It's the ultimate master, right?
Yeah, but is it really the ultimate when it comes to next year? Like, I'm not too concerned about it going into next year. Like, if I got it done, so be it. But like the past MUT, I didn't get Odell Beckham. I didn't feel like I was at any disadvantage. He was 85 overall.
I mean, there are people that play games for different reasons. Some of them are completionists, and if you get a game that you can't complete, it's kind of frustrating for you.
Well, you can complete it. It's
you just got to spend a ton of coins
and
a bunch of time collecting cards.
But you better have a ton of coins. It's just
use code.
It's not impossible, but it's definitely something that even if you got the game at Christmas, there was still 2 Man of the Months you could have knocked out.
Fair enough.
So
all right,
before we move on, last thing, positionals. Right now, elite badge are 28,000 coins. Gerald McCoy is going for about $797 on the auction blocks. His price went up since the last time we talked about him. His set right now costs 930,000 coins to do.
That's crazy.
Yeah, F out of here.
Do it for the culture, man. Do it for the culture.
Let's one more thing. Oh no, I got a couple more things. So we were talking about competitive, man. I'll just announce this quickly. Well, actually, no, this is a little bit of discussion. There's nothing left to grind for, as the ladder closed and the last tourney is points-based. So competitive players, it's kind of the MUT season for competitive is over. Just a couple tournaments left for the guys that already qualified. What do you guys think of that? E.
There's going to be less drama, I guess, or maybe more drama because they're going to have more time on their hands. So I look forward to, throwing in some popcorn into the microwave and taking back and enjoying some, Sly versus Dub, or Tex versus Mo, or Mo versus Sly, or
they don't want these problems, though. They ain't coming at me.
So I'll just say
they don't want these problems.
It could be good or bad. It's hard to say, but
yeah. Texas, do you think? What do you think? Anything?
I mean, it's kind of interesting that they close it now. So the next competition is in 2 months? In April?
Yeah, April. I think. Yeah.
And after that, that's pretty much it, right? We're done for the year.
No, they have one more final tournament. I think is it May or June, and that's all. That's points based. May. Okay, you got it based on how many points you accumulate.
We got back to back. We got them in April, and we got one in May.
Yeah,
I guess that makes sense though. I mean, that's not much they can still qualify for. I mean, if you're still qualifying at this point, you're probably not going to be getting it in. So I feel like closing it now makes sense. Give these guys a break. They've been playing forever. Let them go ahead and just have fun with their families, because this is kind of turning into some of these guys probably playing all day, every day, 24/7, and just to qualify. Now they can just relax and hone in on their certain playbooks and certain skills and stuff like that. So,
and I also think it's a vacation for the dev competitive team. They got to get ready for 18 coming, Madden 18 coming out. So this is a good time for them to take back, hopefully gain the feedback they've had from players, and tighten up the game for next year. Cool.
Yeah. Another thing, KKE's got accused of getting cards granted to him, but I saw that Playa Friends kind of screwed up, I think was his explanation. What do you guys think of that, about cards being granted to people?
Let's not lie. We all know what happens. And my whole viewpoint of it is, I don't care that it happens as long as the cards are non-auctionable and non-tradable. Because if they're non-auctionable, non-tradable, they don't affect me. They're not going to affect the market. I mean, I guess if you really get into it, they could affect the market, because then that person who got them is not buying from the auction house. But in my mind, I don't worry about it as long as I know they're not, trading it or selling it to boost up their coins.
Yeah. Yeah. So Texas, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm cool with people getting granted cards. It happens. Sometimes YouTubers will get cards from their subscribers, so it's kind of the same thing in a sense. Just don't affect the market with it. Just don't post the card to the auction block. Don't try to sell your card for profits. Just keep the card that you get. So whenever a subscriber gives me a card, I keep it. So right now, I had the Von Miller, the limited time Von Miller from like Football Outsiders. It was like 1 million coins. I didn't sell it. And now he's like 300,000 coins. I'm not going to sell that card. Card's permanently going to be on my team. So that's kind of how I feel about these cards being granted to these guys. It'd be cool if they would disclose this so that people know that they're not just getting, they have all these coins and spending a bunch of money on it as like, and maybe tricking some people into thinking that they grinded for that card. But as long as you're not getting rid of the card by making money off it, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I get you. I'm along the only thing I request is how do I get that what developer do I have to talk to to get that as the cards come out, get them granted to my account? Like what kind of juice do you need, huh? Whose pictures do I have to take in a compromising position? Anybody got any ideas?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I think that's $1 million question. I think that's what
do I have to get
maybe
like
that's why Peter Moore
Makuru
left.
wearing? Do I have to get Makuru wearing like Steelers stuff or something?
It wouldn't hurt. I think you'd be on the right path.
Yeah, take him out drinking, and then just get him drunk enough to where he forgets what he's doing, and then snap a few photos, go to Photoshop, and have some fun with it.
I think that's the move. Yeah, that way, much cheaper experience if you get all the cards the day they released for free. All right. Although I'm not saying KKEs does get them.
Allegedly, we're saying that if it's the case, like
I don't think it is because Play a Friend screwed up. Anyways, one more thing I got. EA Play for your first look at Madden 18 is June 10th through 12th. Are you guys planning on flying out there for that?
I think it's right in my neck of the woods. I think it's in LA again. So I think I did tell some of the guys that I would be going this year.
What day is it?
June 10th through 12th.
June. I'm supposed to be going to Vegas. Actually, no. E3 is the same week as well. I might head out there this year. Cause I was supposed to go last year, me, Vic, and TD, but we did something that EA didn't like, so we didn't get it. We could still go, but we didn't get like the tickets or the personal invite that the other people got. So, but I might have to make that work because me and a few other guys are planning to go on to E3 this year, which is June 13th through the 15th, and then hit up Vegas. So, if that's around the same time, like that might be something that we look to go to. Cause that'd be kind of fun to go out there and just play the game a little bit early, get some content for YouTube, and hang out with E because he lives out in that area.
Heck yeah!
I don't even know where you live, Gutfoxx. So I don't even know if you might live out in that same area, but I don't even know.
I probably won't be going out there to EA Play, but have fun though. It's only a couple days before E3, so enjoy yourself. But that's it for me. Anything for you guys that you guys want to say at the end?
It was an honor to be on the podcast, gentlemen.
Appreciate you coming on, man. And hopefully if the audience likes you enough, at least likes you more than Cullenberg, we get you back on here.
Oh, that's not going to happen. Bergie's the man.
You did not see those comments. So I think you're a top 5 right now. Top 5 guest on the show.
Out of 5? I can live with that.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening to the podcast. The links will be down in the description below for Gutfoxx's channel as well as Erocks Twitter. Go ahead and give him a follow. Erock is the MUT OGist in the community right now. So if you guys have any questions about old stuff or if you just want to pick his mind about some new stuff, well, he'll help you out with that hopefully. And subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and leave a rating on iTunes if you guys listen on iTunes. And we'll catch you guys in episode 50, the big one.
5 stars or don't rate.
Exactly. Yeah, 5 stars or don't rate. Take care.